All right, Eric. So, first of all, congratulations on the new album, Mr. Nice Guy, coming out next month. In your own words, what can we expect to hear on that album?
A lot of silliness. I think the humor side that people may see on my shows, that level of revealing myself, I think showed up on this album more than any of my previous albums. As well as I think a little bit more of my theatrical history. I majored in musical theater, so I think from my storytelling, from a theatrical standpoint, I think this record, some of the songs are more like musical monologues more than they are like R&B songs and stuff like that. So I think those are the two main things that I think people will get from these albums.
Okay. And you're a very creative guy. You write all your music.
Yeah.
After you've been in this game a decade, 8th album now, does it get any easier? Does the writing get easier?
Dare I say yes and no? It's funny, yes and no, because you kind of wish that you can go back to some of your ignorant days. Like, I wish I didn't know this part. I wish now I so try to fight routine. I think it's great to get lost at times, and then the creative things that you discover when trying to find your way out of it. So I think at times it can be easier. But I think the more you write, the more you're digging deeper, the more you're trying to find a new challenge to write about, and that's where it can get a little difficult. But I really go from the theory that the song is already written, and we are more fishermen who just have to find it. So no matter how hard it is to write a song, I'm usually pretty patient. And I never get to the point like, oh, it's not gonna work or whatever. I'm more like, it's gonna work. I don't know when. I don't know when the timeline is for it, but I'll stick to it till it happens.
Okay. And I know you had a child a year ago. Congratulations on that as well. And I was reading that while recording this album, you were babysitting at the same time. What was that whole process like?
Whatever has to be done has to be done. But I went through this business, learned a lot from different people, and the guy who mixes a lot of my records, I believe the song is playing right now upstairs, was mixed by a guy named Kevin Jackson that I worked at his studio when I went to college. And I remember his kids being around all the time while he worked, And I always said to myself, when I have a child or kids, I want them to be in the studio with me. I want them to be in the studio. I want them to be in that environment. I don't want to get to the thing where I close the door and they're just kind of distant. So there were times when my son was in my lap while I was recording. Because it was nothing else better to do. I'm sitting here like, oh, he's chilling. Let me go ahead and I got an idea. I'm not going to just lay him down because I got an idea. Let's go down there, and do it. So you might hear him, burp or fart on the album somewhere if you listen close enough. Listen with like some good like Dr. Dre beat headphones or something. You might be like, is that a baby fart? Now on beat or something. But we just auto-tuned it into the stuff. It worked out.
Good stuff. Talk to me about the single you have out now, Picture Perfect. I love the song. What was the creation like of that song?
That song was really a poor attempt at a gift for my wife while she was pregnant and swollen, walking around the house. Half the album was written before my son was born, the other half was written, after he was born. And I remember coming upstairs with the song finished, going, "Babe, I wrote this song about you, about how I feel about how you look right now." And she's like, "I don't feel picture perfect," But I think after a while she started realizing that for me, it was about more saying just to women in general that they're designed in amazing ways. They're designed for stuff to handle stuff that we can never even imagine. And for that, I'm grateful to her and to women in general. I'm grateful to my mom, and to me, they're picture perfect. No matter whether they feel like something's out of place or they feel uncomfortable. At this moment right now, God made you look perfect to me. And I think that was really the basis behind it. The song really came really easy to me, and from there, shared it with the world.
Cool. Now, talk to me about this new deal you have with Purpose E1. Is anything going to change about how you do music? I know it's a better situation for you in terms of getting out there more, and talk about that.
Nothing's going to change from the way we do music at all. I think it's just for me, it's a great learning experience and a great step in growth. I have an uncle who I've always listened to from a business perspective, and one thing that he's always shared with me is organized growth. You know, he really hammers that, you know, organized growth, grow into a place where, you know, it's in an organized fashion where you don't get too big too fast where things crumble, but you learn and attach and keep building up. And to me, it's a great step was joining up with Purpose and E1. My staff, my label has a lot we can learn from these people.
Yeah.
Purpose are guys that I've known for years, and every year we would at least get up once a year to exchange notes over the year, what we learned, what we didn't, what we could improve on. So when it was a chance for us to work together through a collaboration with E1, it just made sense, you know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to, you know, what we all can learn from it, as well as, you know, putting out some successful albums from it.
Okay. And in the press release for that, you recorded and you mentioned the honest music movement. You know, how do you define that? What is that to you?
To me, it's, you know, sticking into the process, man. I'm just not into assembly line music, you know. Especially soul music is definitely not that. So to me, honest music is really approaching where you are at, honestly, at that time. And not getting so caught up in genres, not getting so caught up in routine or perceptions or, you know, assumptions or anything of that nature. To me, if you feel a certain direction and if you give your heart and soul into it creatively, it's going to work. You know, it's going to work. My iPod doesn't have just strictly soul music in it. If you look in it, there's going to be Bob Dylan and Tom Waits and Radiohead and Police and Sade and Al Green and Stevie. You know what I mean? So when I go into creating music, I can't now go, okay, let me turn off Radiohead, let me turn off Slick Rick, let me focus on, you know, Donny Hathaway. You know, it's like, to me, it's about the creative process, just being open to it. Whatever I feel at the time, I'm going to attack it wholeheartedly and present it without any apology.
Okay. Now, you've been a major pioneer in this independent movement since you started. You know, you've stuck with it all these years. Could you ever see a point, hypothetically, where, say, a major label approached you and they're like, we like what you're doing, you can just continue doing what you're doing, you know, we want to bring you on? Would you be able to join that?
I can never say never. I would probably say that where the industry is at right now, I don't know if I would be that interested right now. I mean, I would have to really be guaranteed such a level of creative freedom that I just don't know if that could be offered to me. I have too many friends in the business that have sold millions of records and are not happy with what they're creating to dare ever be that. You know what I mean? But I have a lot of friends in the industry. Let's say, you know, I wouldn't be surprised that, let's say one of my actual staff members became president of Def Jam tomorrow. And called me up like, we got the keys to the Bentley, let's go. You know what I mean? Would I then say no? I mean, I would have to really strongly consider it. You know what I mean? I trust my staff wholeheartedly. If they gave me opportunity through growing, through something, I mean, it is possible. But where the industry is at right now, I'm kind of good where we're at right now.
Cool. And just one more question. I get a lot of submissions from upcoming artists just trying to make it independently, you know, kind of like you did early on. What's the best piece of advice you could give them for making it and, you know, sticking to their dreams?
The most important word in the music business between who wins and loses is the word completion. And I think that's a word that every single person who is aspiring to be something in a creative form of business, whether that's in film, television, music, whatever, they need that word tattooed on the inside of their eyelids. They need to wake up and go to sleep to that word. It really is the word between who wins and loses. And it's not just also about, like, for me, completing my song, but completing the steps to get that song where it needs to be at. Taking the advice from people to improve the song, as well as paperwork, or just understand it's the business of music. So if you don't properly take care of the business side of it, you're not going to be able to keep doing music for long, even on that aspect. I don't care how great your music is, if the bills are not paid, if it's not feeding you on a financial or inspirational standpoint, on all aspects, you just have to focus on that word completion, and know that the Timbalands, the Jermaine Dupri's, the Beyoncés, the Ushers, the whoever, they understand that word more than anybody, and that's why they are who they are.
Cool. And, anything you'd like to add?
Enjoy your sticky wings. You know what I'm saying? And come check me out on EricRobersonMusic.com. That's probably the two things.
Great.